For these 3 women, Switzerland has been their new home for the last 2 months. They're attending a language course in order to learn German, the language used in this part of the country.
The language is difficult for me. If I have a problem, I cannot simply describe it. I always need a translator, or I try to convey what I mean through sign language.
Many of these refugees have never been to school before. Therefore, teachers avoid working with standard textbooks that put too much emphasis on grammar.
We've modified the language coaching to include real-life situations like lunch, shopping, or going to the dentist. These are things that they can always make use of, and they're happy to put into practice. We've realized that lessons are more satisfying for them when they can immediately make use of what they learn.
Unlike other refugees, the Syrians living in Marienburg, a former boarding school in Canton St. Gallen, know they will be able to stay in Switzerland. Since they don't face the uncertainty of going through the asylum process and facing possible rejection, their motivation to learn German is high. They are part of a contingent granted refugee status by the United Nations Refugee Agency. Switzerland agreed to take 500 of them over a 3-year period. Traumatized by the war, many have lost their loved ones. Others have been shot at or have been tortured. Once a week, the psychiatrist Hassam Abdelrahim comes to the center. He's a specialist in treating traumas. Healing is part of the treatment, but not the priority.
The goal is to teach the patient to learn how to deal with their symptoms and with their emotions in order to control them. In this way, they can start saying that what happened to them is part of their life and begin to live in the here and now and not in their past. Only by doing that can they look to the future and accept themselves and be accepted by the people around them, especially their families.
A dog is used in the therapy sessions involving small children to teach them to trust again. Still, some of the children are skeptical and prefer the company of their kindergarten teacher.
They lose their sense of security again and again. But here they have a structure where someone looks after them. We soon realized how attached these children are to their teachers and caregivers. I think it also does them good to come and know that here they have a place where they can develop themselves further.
Just before midday, the dining room comes to life. Pork is not on the menu, but no other special requests are accepted. Every family sits at its own table to give them back a sense of normality. Compared to ordinary asylum centers, Marienburg follows a strict regimen. Here, everyone must help with the chores. Those that don't receive a smaller allowance. Doing a normal job is also part of the integration process. Murad Hassan has been working for 3 months in a restaurant. He has experience working as a cook in both Syria and Lebanon. He likes working in Switzerland, but Swiss cuisine takes some getting used to.
I had to learn to cook different food. Not Syrian, but Swiss food. It's very good and healthy here. We use a lot of oil in Syria, making the food heavy and rich. It's better here.
The Association of Mayors from Canton St. Gallen have organized the refugee program. The association president, Beat Tinner, is pleased with the way the integration process is working, but is worried about the costs.
In addition to the lump sum we provide and the additional contributions, we lack the budget to cover cases that require a lot of medical attention. At the same time, since they're not part of the state pension system, they'll be a burden on the budgets of the communes where they live once they retire.
In Marienburg, life for the refugee families is beginning to normalize, as much as it can considering they're far from home.
I've survived, and now I'm fine, but I miss my people. Many people have died trying to get here. I hope that they are all allowed to come to Europe.
The refugee families will stay in Marienburg until the end of the year. Then they will move into their own apartments across the canton.
I slowly started to feel at home here. I hope I'll be able to give back to Switzerland at least as much as what Switzerland has given me.